Is that Trixie?
Yep.
She's not wearing much.
No kidding. She did a lot of these artistic postcards a few years ago. I got a whole set of them.
Can I, have one?
I don't know. You ain't gonna do nothing bad with it, are you?
Hey, I promise. I'll only use it for the greater good.
Well, okay.
Have you heard from Kid lately?
We're not exactly on speaking terms these days, on account of our varying degrees of incarceration.
What kind of stuff have they got you hauling here?
How the heck would I know? Electro this, robo that, dynamo the other. It's all Greek to me.
Hey, what's with your teeth?
My teeth?
Yeah, they're green.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Seriously, man, what's going on with your teeth?
It's nothing. Nothing. Oh, crap.
What's wrong?
It's these.
Dr. Frinkle's algae cakes?
A crate of them fell off the truck while I was unloading it, and I just can't stop eating them. How was I to know they'd turn my teeth green?
Well, the algae part might have been a clue.
Please don't rat me out to Artie, okay? I really need this job.
No problem, but you better let me keep the cakes.
Sure thing, pal.
Hang loose, pal.
You talk funny, mister.
Ahem.
Back again, Mr. Corleone? What can I help you with?
So you wouldn't hesitate to get Trixie fired from her job?
If I had the goods on her. She's obviously got her employer completely bamboozled. The only way to snap him out of his spell would be to show him something really shocking.
You might want to take a look at this.
Why in the world would I be interested in... Oh, what have we here? Oh, sir! Mr. McFly! It appears your muse has been inspiring more than progress.
Trixie? Oh, no. What are you doing with a dirty postcard?
What is she doing in a dirty postcard? I swear, Mr. McFly, if that doesn't convince you that Trixie Trotter is unfit to represent Hill Valley...
I don't need you to lecture me about who I can or can't hire, Miss Strickland. Trixie's darn good at what she does. I don't care if she was once the winsome wench of Winnipeg. Her past doesn't matter to... Trixie?
What is it, Audie?
You know I don't like to pry, but what state did you grow up in?
Province, Manitoba. Why?
Not even an American.
See, darling, the charter specifically states that the Expo's hostess must be a U.S. citizen, so if you're really a Canadian...
I'm being fired? You are firing me?
I don't want to.
Here, take it back.
Well, I'm glad somebody's listening to reason.
Let's talk.
Trixie?
I'll do it! I'll make that blue-nosed bitty eat her heart out!
That's great. I got it all planned out. When Emmett shows
But we
up...
gotta do it my way.
Huh?
I'm no good with improvising, and I ain't gonna memorize no lines. But I was in this play once. The Parlor Maid's Predicament. I figure I could lift a scene from that.
Okay.
Only, I need a few props.
Why am I not surprised?
Some furs, a big diamond. It doesn't have to be real, understand?
That makes it easier.
And something from this friend of yours, Emmett. Has he got a photo album?
I don't know. Probably.
Better bring it to me.
Furs, a diamond, and Emmett's photo album. And then?
Sit back and watch the fur fly.
Have you figured out what's wrong with the time circuits?
Not sure. Possibly. It seems to me to be a simple wiring issue, but I'm double-checking to make sure. All the basic equipment appears to be functional.
Any chance I could borrow the DeLorean? I want to drop in on young you at the lab.
Well, I don't know. The time circuits...
Listen, I promise I won't take it to 88.
Even so, I'm worried about letting it out of my sight while it's still behaving unpredictably. Tell you what, I'll take it on a test drive 1 minute into the past. If it passes the test, I'll let you borrow it.
It worked. Didn't it?
I'm afraid not. In fact, the discrepancy appears to be getting worse. I arrived 6 hours ago.
Oh, too bad.
I didn't want to risk undoing any of the work you've done thus far, so I kept out of sight. But the time lag wasn't entirely a waste. I stopped by the hardware store and bought the parts for a chronometric analyzer.
A what?
A diagnostic device. See, I plug it into the time circuits and set them to cycle. When the green light goes off, I should have the data I'll need to understand the scope of the problem.
Hey, no driving the exhibits off the lot!
Looks like you'll have to find another set of wheels if you want to get to the lab.
My future wouldn't be built so shoddily.
Hi, Miss Strickland. I was just...
Break what you like, Mr. Corleone. It's no skin off my nose. Just keep away from Emmett's booth. Speaking of whom, I better go see what's keeping him.
I'll go check on him for you. I was just heading there anyway.
No, you weren't. The last thing he needs is another distraction at the 11th hour.
But...
Tut tut. Not another word. I've got the rest of the day all mapped out.
Miss Strickland!
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Heavens, you shaved off your hair, but... Carl Sagan?
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
I'm not sure it would be seemly for me to be seen in the company of an alleged arsonist.
I think it may be in your best interests. You see, I know what you're up to.
Let's go somewhere where we can talk privately.
Go. I'll keep her occupied till you get back.
Hang on, Emmett. Hope you're ready for a big breakup. Emmett?
Thanks again for your assistance, Detective Parker.
Detective? What the hell is Kid doing here?
Nothing criminal, I assure you. I was just getting a mind map of Mr. Tannen for our exhibition at the expo. The authorities wouldn't allow Edna and I to stage a demonstration of the mental alignment meter with a violent felon, but this little baby is just as good. Okay, let's see now what's next. Check the stew, sort the maps. Ooh, I almost forgot that.
Edna really is cracking the whip, isn't she?
Well, yes, but she's got my best interests at heart. Without her, I can get so distracted. Did she send you down here to check up on me?
Yeah, she wanted to come herself, but...
She's busy too, I know. Well, you're a poor substitute for Edna's lovely features, but make yourself at home.
Thanks.
No thanks are necessary. Without you, I'd never be where I am now, in love with the woman of my dreams, and a mere 6 hours from my first public triumph as a scientist. Wait a minute. 6 hours? Jumping Jehoshaphat, I'm running out of time!
The mind of a degenerate criminal.
This kid Tannen's mind map, as captured by our mind map helmet.
You could tell he's a criminal just by looking at this?
No, but when it's fed into the mental alignment meter...
Weird.
Weird nothing. It's science.
How does the mental alignment thing work?
Here, I'll show you.
Hey!
The test subject wears this mind mapping helmet, which probes the brain by measuring fluctuations in skin conductance and electrical resistance on the surface of the parietal lobe.
Uh-huh.
When I turn on the mind mapping helmet with this radio switch, the subject is exposed to a series of visual stimuli, intended to provoke a series of positive or negative responses, as indicated by these lights on the helmet.
Hey, is that...
As the responses are recorded, they're relayed to this special typewriter, which prints out a punch card that represents the subject's mind map.
All I see is a bunch of holes.
Well, to you, maybe. But to our mental alignment meter, this mind map is nothing less than a peek into your subconscious. Observe as I place your mind map into the MAM.
Layabout. Is that machine calling me a slacker?
No, your own physiological responses did.
So this machine takes those little cards and tells you whether or not someone's a good guy or bad guy?
Kind of. Actually, the helmet does all the work. The mental alignment meter is just a glorified arcade machine.
So why not just go with the cards?
Edna says that people respond well to flashing lights and snap judgments. I can't argue with that. Every time I kiss her, I see flashing lights and lose all sense of judgment.
No kidding. How goes the bacteria farm?
Not so hot. The bacteria have kind of gotten out of control. I had to put a clamp on the nitrogen tube to keep the stench from flooding the lab.
So, you and Edna, how serious are you guys?
Well, we both enjoy a good joke every now and then, but I'd say on the whole we're fairly serious people. Why do you ask?
No. What I mean is, how serious is your relationship?
Oh, well, as a scientist, I can't state this with 100% confidence, but I'm provisionally certain that I'm head over heels in love.
Really? With Edna?
What can I say? She's my muse. In the weeks since we've been courting, she's given me so many wonderful ideas.
Are you sure Edna's the right woman for you?
What do you mean?
I just think you should be careful, that's all.
Thanks for the concern, but I'll be fine.
I thought you were working on some sort of rocket car.
Oh, the rocket propulsion system was far too unreliable, as that incident with Einstein proved. By the way, whatever happened to Einstein?
I wish I knew.
Anyway, I started tinkering with an alternate method of propulsion, but that was before things started heating up with Edna. Our conversations about the possibilities of applying technology to social ills pushed my research in a whole new direction.
Why would you want to probe people's minds?
Why wouldn't you? Imagine being able to diagnose mental disorders with a flick of a switch, or detect the truthfulness of courtroom testimony merely by connecting a witness to a small portable device.
Your machine does all that?
Not yet. Frankly, right now the whole thing's just a gussied-up potentiometer. But with years of refinements and a whole lot of investors, the MAM will be able to identify countless psychosis and neurosis, alcoholism, acrophobia, Oedipal complexes.
And
then we can set about curing them, of course.
Of course. Can't believe you invented all this in 2 months.
Well, like I said, there's not really a whole lot of inventing going on here. I just dressed up a $5 potentiometer with a lot of bells and whistles.
But
Don't get me wrong, it does a remarkable job of telling whether a subject is currently liking or disliking what they're experiencing. But all the extra stuff about sorting out criminals from model citizens is mostly a bunch of hooey at this point.
what's with the new threads?
You like them?
You look like Colonel Sanders.
Who?
Never mind.
Edna gave them to me. She says my usual clothes don't have enough zing for a public exhibition.
What do you say we take a break for a couple of hours and go see a movie?
A couple of hours?
Actually, it may be more like 70 minutes.
I haven't got a couple of hours. I still got all these mind maps to sort, and the MAM's wiring is still giving me fits, and...
I get it, you're busy. I still don't think Edna's right for you.
Oh? And who is she right for? You?
Me? No way.
Relax. I'm just yanking your tibia.
Did you make a mind map of yourself?
Of course. Take a look.
Edna's right. You are a model citizen.
At least as far as my invention's concerned. Confidentially, this whole enterprise is a little light on the hard science and a little heavy on the smoke and mirrors.
Could you tell me how this mental alignment meter works again?
Of course. Now, pay attention. Subjects put on the mind mapping helmet, which I activate with this radio switch.
Check.
The subject is then exposed to a series of visual stimuli provoking positive, negative, or indifferent reactions that are recorded by the mind map printer.
Right.
Once a mind map is completed, it can be inserted into the mental alignment meter to pronounce judgment on the subject's mental state.
Okay, I think I got it. You look busy. Why don't we talk later?
Sure thing.
Nothing happened.
Well, that button advances the slides during the mind mapping test. It only works while the test is running.
What's this typewriter do again?
During a mental alignment test, it takes messages from the mind map helmet and turns them into punch cards, like the one for Mr. Tannen over there.
Seems complicated.
Actually, it was all rather easy to put together, once Edna gave me the idea.
Sounds to me like you should be working on harder problems then.
What? Sorry, I've got to get back to work. I'd be careful of that if I were you.
Why?
The rocket fuel experiment must have stripped one of the teeth in the hand crank. As a consequence, if you turn it for more than 10 seconds, it... Whoa! Sends out an electric shock.